Foreign Minister Datuk Sri Saifuddin Abdullah had proposed for ASEAN to establish an informal relationship with Myanmar's shadow government, triggering backlash from the junta. But after a year of little to no progress made on the implementation of ASEAN's 5-point consensus peace plan, what are the options available on the table to bring stability to Myanmar and restore democracy? We speak to Dr. Rahul Mishra from UM's Asia-Europe Institute.
The developments that have taken place over the past 1 year, it shows a resolve in ASEAN's approach in dealing with the Myanmar conundrum. Unfortunately, ASEAN does not have enough mechanisms, to compel the junta to take any corrective steps to restore democracy. But if you compare this with the previous episodes, like coup in Thailand, or last time when military junta was there in Myanmar, compared to those episodes, I think there is a remarkable change. ASEAN is certainly more firm on this and yet flexible. And I think on that context, we have to also understand that last year, the junta leadership was not invited to attend the ASEAN summit in Brunei. They were not even present in the China-ASEAN summit in November. And that is a trend that's likely to continue even with the US-ASEAN summit that is to be held on May 12th and 13th. So one thing that we must understand is ASEAN is not used to boycotting its members. It's the first time that ASEAN has taken such a step.
Continuing our conversation yesterday on ASEAN's approach to the Myanmar crisis, Dr. Rahul Mishra from UM's Asia-Europe Institute highlighted the lack of consensus between ASEAN leadership and how it has made it difficult for more punitive action to take place.
With Myanmar, we've seen that all 10 countries are not on the same page in terms of finding common, workable and effective plan. And we have already seen that some of the countries are more proactive than others. So Indonesia, Malaysia and Singapore played a key role in shaping the ASEAN consensus and also the 5-point consensus. Brunei, as the 2021 ASEAN chair last year, did try to play its role, but the same cannot be said about Cambodia this year, or even Thailand, which is again, it's a military coup led government. So basically, Prayut is also a military general, and they have their sympathies with the Myanmar junta. So I think that makes things a little difficult for us in the region.
Dr. Rahul said the Myanmar crisis has not attracted much global attention as compared to the crisis in Ukraine. He explained why.
Other important stakeholders, Thailand, China, Bangladesh, Singapore, Japan, are hesitant in imposing, stringent sanctions. So it's essentially the European countries and the UK which are imposing sanctions on Myanmar. And these are the very same set of countries that are doing their bit in the Ukraine crisis as well. So it gives the impression that preserving the international liberal order and a rules-based system in ASEAN region or in the Eurasian European region is more or less the responsibility of Western powers. So here again, I think in Southeast Asia as well, part of the problem is that the US and European powers are not taking that kind of keen interest in making sure that Myanmar returns to normalcy. We have to understand that diplomatic pressure, putting diplomatic pressure and using back-channel diplomacy are the two most viable options. Howsoever low-yielding the outcome be, these are the things that ASEAN could perhaps do. And beyond that, I don't think ASEAN has the power to punish Myanmar, or if any kind of punitive action is beyond ASEAN's purview. So we have to keep our expectations very realistic in that sense.